Thank you for listening to my presentation, Dare to Dream, Dare to Livestream, How E-commerce Live Streaming Empowers Chinese Rural Women. In recent years, China has witnessed a rapid growth in e-commerce live streaming. The commercialization of live streaming has led to the rise of e-commerce live streamers, and we notice that more and more rural women are joining the trend. They choose to live stream on the platforms such as Taobao and Douyin, which is the Chinese version of TikTok. The picture on the left shows a streamer in Yunnan who is introducing a special kind of orange to her audiences. The streamers would not only sell a variety of products, but also present their local culture and lifestyle to the audiences. They may go to local markets, pick fruits and vegetables from their orchards or farms, or even go fishing in the wild in their streamings. In the picture on the right, we could see the streamer is showing how she catches fish in the local lake, and her audiences will directly pick the fish they want when watching the streaming. Although we may find the phenomenon inspiring for rural women, compared with their urban and male counterparts, rural female live streamers are still often in the situations where poverty, a lack of resources, and gender inequality still exist. The urban-rural digital gap is still significant in China, with rural residents accounting for only 30.4% of the total internet users by June 2020. Also, only 26.4% of the local government rural members are female. Also, rural female streamers are faced with the patriarchy social structure entrenched in rural China, and they have also been reported to be subject to social stigma and harassment. Therefore, our study aims to answer the three questions. We want to understand why they choose to be a live streamer, what challenges and social stigma they encountered, and how the career impacts on their well-being. To get answers for the questions, we conducted qualitative research through interviews with non-participants and observations from the streamers' streaming videos. As the talk has limited time, we would only introduce some important findings we want to emphasize here. Through our observations and interviews, we found out perhaps the most important value for the streamers is the value for family. They were motivated by their responsibility of family, they stream with their families, and when streaming itself obeys the traditional culture in rural communities, they were faced with challenges and stigmas. As for their motivation for choosing live streaming, many of our interviewees mentioned that the job let them both earn money and give care for their family, especially their children. One of our participants mentioned that both my husband and I were migrant workers in the city, but after my pregnancy, I couldn't continue my work, so I came back home. Another participant said that I could only visit my parents a few times a year when I was a migrant worker, but after I came back home and took the job, I could stay with my family every day. This indicates that the female members in the families have the responsibility to care for both children and the elderly. Apart from the motivation related to their gender role, in our observation of their streaming content and format, we noticed that many female streamers will choose to stream with their husband, and it increases their confidence to start their live streaming career and handle challenges. Participant 7's quote is an example. She credited the success of her streaming career to her husband. I think I can barely do anything. It all thanks to my husband. He used to learn advertising design and he knows a lot. As a comparison, P9 and her husband both are streamers, but participant 9 do not share her streaming business with her husband. She was satisfied with her achievement, as her channel had gained thousands of followers. The mode of family business indicates that the male chauvinism is still embedded in family streaming, and these live streamers were mostly dependent on their husbands' or relatives' technical skills. The observation of family business also led us to dig deeper into the challenges those streamers may face in a rural society. One of our participants told us about how the rumors in her village saying she was hooking up with boys online. She noted that in the village where she resided, only 1 of 10 people has heard of Taobao, and many of the village's imagination of female live streamers came from stripped live streamers on Kuaishou. She then came to the local government asking for endorsement because local government is trusted in her village, and she believed that with a government seal she could prove that her streaming is formal. However, to her disappointment, the officer did not even know what Taobao is. She was very upset and stopped live streaming for a while. From her case, you could see how female streamers are stigmatized as using her sexual attractiveness to attract viewers within rural communities. Moreover, when they turned to local government for help, the local system could not provide sufficient support for them. Such situation implicates that we need to carefully design both online empowerment and the local offline support systems to help those streamers combat the stigma. Despite the challenges they face, from our interviews, we found out that the career as a live streamer impacts our interviewees' well-being in a positive way. Due to their live streaming, these women were more involved at work, increasing their income and getting spiritual support in their everyday lives as housewives. Take the quotes from our participants as examples. With this job, it is relatively free to manage your time at home. Many young mothers would like to join the career, such as content creators of short videos or live streaming, because for young mothers, if they only raise their children at home without having a career, they can't make money and would sometimes be anxious about it. Also, the feeling of self-employment is satisfying. The benefit of being a live streamer is that you can say that you are a boss. Other jobs are just that you are employed by others. You won't try so hard. Moreover, by building relationships with viewers and customers, they also expanded their living circles and received social support from online communities. The streamers build close connection with their viewers, sometimes even learn from them. Also, they get to know their urban fans, which could potentially bridge rural and urban areas. They further increase their self-identity and literacy through live streaming. One of the participants said that, "At first I feel awkward in front of the camera, but then after practice and learning, I gained experience and could talk and chat with the audiences naturally." Another participant said that, "My fans will teach me simple words to help me better express myself during their live streams." Thank you for listening.